if we are like floor above, floor below for evac, and then rest of the building in alert, regardless which floor in evac. So now, if I can set all of the BAM setting for alert as a priority 2, and then the floor is going to be in fire, and floor above and floor below for priority 1 as a evac, that should work?
Well, keep in mind, let me think about that. The evac messages have a higher priority than alert.
Yes.
And more than likely, that's how they're going to get lined up anyway. You're not going to evacuate anybody or alert anybody at the same time. That's the thing. It's either one or the other.
Correct. So let's say if I have a 5th floor in alarm, 4 and 5 and 6 is going to be in evac, and then the rest of the building is going to be in alert.
Correct. You can
So
use the same logic equation that'll trigger the evac message, but you got to make sure that those are, as always, separated.
Okay.
In that list, when you get to the PAM points, you should be able to see them there separated. Because keep in mind that you're going to do the floor above, floor below. So if there's, like you said, if there's a fire on, let's say there's a fire on the 3rd floor, you're going to evacuate the 3rd floor, the 2nd floor, and the 4th floor. The other floors are going to be alerted. If there's a fire on the 5th floor, you're going to evacuate the 5th floor and the 4th floor. There is no floor above unless there's a penthouse there, right? You're not going to evacuate 2 floors below. Now, keep in mind, there's some areas. Have you encountered that? Anybody? Have you guys encountered where you have to evacuate 2 floors below, 1 floor above, or vice versa, 2 floors above, 1 floor below? I've been seeing that a lot lately too, as well. And I'm referring to the real world. Anybody? Has anybody encountered that?
In Canada here, if there's like a fire on 4, then 3, 4, and 5 get the evac, and the rest of the floors get alert, and then it'll be cascaded eventually all into evac.
Okay. Right. Yeah, because they're worried more about the stampeding of the people getting trampled over, right? That's basically what they're doing there. They don't want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then they're going to evacuate them eventually, but in a timely manner.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you guys use for that? You guys use those timers on the logics? Is that what you do?
Honestly, that's why I'm doing this course, is I'm here to learn the DVC stuff, and I haven't had the chance to actually do the cascading yet.
Yeah, more than likely, if you look at what we just did when we looked for that TBL in the functions, you'll notice that you have DEL and SDEL. Those are timers. It's a logic equate. You can put that in the logic that when something that you're monitoring through that logic becomes active, the timer starts ticking, and when the timer runs out, then that will trigger whatever PAM point you assigned it to. You see where I'm going with that? So you'll probably have one set at 10 seconds, the other one set at 15 seconds, and then 20 seconds. You know what I mean? So that's how they would do the staggering effect. The SDEL is a timer, but the timer's latching. It's a latching timer. They call it a sticky delay, if that helps.
That's what they call it Boston code here in our New York City. Some buildings have it for some reason. Like if nobody acknowledge or silence right away after a certain amount of second, the alert floor will switch to evac.
Oh, that's weird. Yeah.
Yeah. They call it Boston code. I think something happened in Boston and they want to copy it.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. But Dylan, you said something?
In Canada, like, I don't know if it's the same in the States there, but a lot of like the bigger buildings with the DVCs, they'll all have 2-stage pull stations. So when a pull station's hit, it'll go into alert for a certain amount of time, and if no one acknowledges it, then it goes into evac.
Yeah, Canada got that 2-stage, 3-stage thing. You know who uses that? Some in areas, I believe California. Who's from California? Have you guys ever used that out there? I heard a few people in my training classes say that they have used that out there. Anybody from Cali? From Cali. Nobody? Oh, nobody from the West Coast. All right. Any more questions on that lab?
I don't know if you can hear me, but I'm out in Portland, Oregon on the West Coast.
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear, man. Do you guys do anything like that with the notifications, those stages?
Well, like I explained, I work with the county. We have about with Multnomah County, the seat of Portland, Oregon, largest city in the state of Oregon. We only have one building that we have set up with a staging, and that's the Central Courthouse building, and that's a 17 or 18 floor building, but it's double story each
okay.
floor, so it's
Yeah.
basically like a 25-story building.
Okay. That's a nice sized building. And they do that staggering effect that he's referring to?
Yeah, floor above, floor below, but not 2 floors below, just the single floor below.
Got you. Do you guys do the alerts as well? Do you alert the other floors that are not being evacuated, or you guys say nothing?
Well, it's actually really special. The building's quite complicated. It has a jail side because you have people waiting for court. So
Yeah,
the
the
fire alarm
bullpens.
is sectioned, so it'll evacuate the civilian side of the building, but the jail side, the bunker room, they get an alarm, and there's a panel by the Sally Port area where the bring the prisoners in. There's a panel there that just locally enunciates to that guard.
Mhm.
But other than that, the inmates don't hear anything. That's up to the staff to get them escorted where they need to go.
Jesus. Okay. Hey.
It's a mix of everything. We got 3 different Vesta systems in there. We've got, yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah. Usually government buildings are run that way, man. They go above and beyond. So
And you want to know how many pull stations are in that building? Exactly 1.
really?
Yeah,
Just
we got
one?
variance approval because it's a courthouse. There's criminal trials going on. We cannot have someone pull the fire alarm. So we have a professionally monitored, well, not professional, but we have a competent authorized person in a bunker that
Right.
is always monitoring the system. So there's only
Oh.
the one pull station in there.
Right. So on top of the system that he's monitoring, he's making sure that nobody but him pulls that pull station.
Exactly.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Yeah. I mean, you go from one place to another. It seems like there's all these little worlds and little laws that they have, little codes that they have to go by. NFPA 72's national code, but those local HJs, including and especially those government buildings, man, they'll come up with all sorts of different doozies.
Yeah, there's some other variances. We have 2 jails and a juvenile detention facility. And in the main jail, we actually have a master interrupt inhibit relay for the elevator fire recall. So we can actually turn a switch in the main control room that will basically bypass the phase 2 or phase 1 fire recall. And the only way the elevator mechanic can and override that is putting the car into independent service. That's the only way they could override that.
hmm.
Or using the car top controls. The car top controls have the absolute highest priority. Like in elevators, it's a priority.
Right.
So you have a technician on the roof of the elevator car. Whatever they're doing, you want them to have absolute overriding authority. Then it cascades down into independent service. Then it cascades down into fire recall service. Then it cascades down into just patrons hitting buttons in the elevator cab.
Are they using that elevator for like it sounds like almost like they're using it for different things. You got your normal occupants that are going up and down these floors. But during emergencies, are they using the elevators during emergencies as well? Is this why they do these manual overrides?
They have the manual overrides because we have a lot of inmate vandalism. So we need to maintain the safe, orderly operation of the facility. And since it's a detention
Gotcha.
facility and we have a 24/7 manned station next to the fire alarm panel, we've
Yeah.
gotten variances to override it. The building is as much concrete as much as possible, but
Are you
still
doing anything with like a prison, federal prison? Is there any federal prisons nearby that more than likely probably have kind of like the similar setups? I'm guessing.
we only have one federal prison, and it's Sherwood facility out in Sherwood, Oregon, south of the state capital for Oregon. That's
Mhm.
Salem, Oregon, just a little
Right.
south.
And do you have your hands on that equipment, or is that somebody else?
No, because I'm Multnomah County. I'm like literally
Oh,
city of
gotcha.
Portland and the surrounding areas, so that's all we do.
Right. So you're not the ESD, you're the end user.
Technically,
you-
the
or-
end user, yeah,
well?
it's
Okay.
a unique setup. It's a pretty unique setup. We work with a local installer, Pi Barker, that gets at this training.
Gotcha. So I see Ronaldo's with Pi Parker. Are you guys working together in that same area, or just a coincidence that Pi Parker's here? Guessing. Yeah, it looks like
Think-
Ronaldo Nava.
I think Pi Barker's got a couple different locations, but I
they're
do
all
know they operate.
they're huge.
Yeah, they operate
Pi-
all over the West Coast. I know that. I don't know
Yeah.
about wherever else.
Well, we have distributors throughout the nation, and I think Pi Barker has been gobbling up a few.
Well,
They've been
they
gobbling-
ate up Northwest Fire. It used to be Northwest Fire. They ate those people up, and now
Yeah,
it's,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. They're spreading like wildfire. All right, let me send you guys that lab for the DVC. Let me take
I
a
did
look
have
at
one
it.
question. Can you hear me?
Sure.
There
What
was
do
a
you got
question
for
too.
me?
Oh,
Uh-huh.
my bad.
Go ahead, Trent.
It was for the whatever task 3. Can you use X zone as a way to detect the 5 pull station? Any 2 of the 5 pull station? Is that
Yes. Well, X zone requires at least 2. So
But-
2 or 3 or 4.
yeah?
not
So
mistaken.
you just
Yep.
put all 5 of the pull stations to one zone and then X zone, and that works for that. It doesn't have to be the any 2 function, correct?
Correct. Now, keep
Okay.
in mind the NE2 is strictly NE2. The X zone, you need at least 2. So 3, 4, activate. That's going to activate that as well.
Okay.
Yeah, the X zone, that's kind of like they call it X zone because it's kind of like the cross zoning that you would do in other brands. In the notifier world, when we talk about cross zoning, that has to do with releasing applications. So I guess that they to keep it from, I don't know, confusing people or putting something there that they can use kind of like the cross zoning, but you would have to set up the logic for that cross zoning that they use. Yeah, but yeah, if you use the X zone, that'll work just fine.
Okay.
I would accept that. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. I opened up that DVC lab that I'm sending you guys now. All right, so this one's pretty plain. It's not pointing to any particular panel. But it is pointing to the devices. So for example, number 1 says play the following message, and it tells you that you have to use that message. So if you can't find that message already pre-created on the on your WAV file folder, you're going to have to probably slap it together. I think this one you have to put those sentences together. So the segments, you got to use those segments to create the actual entire message. All right, so pay attention to this one. This one's going to have you guys do that. And so, like I said, it's pointing to the devices, not to the point. So play the following message. It's an evac message on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th floor speakers if either smoke detector or pull station on the 3rd floor is an alarm. Play the following message, which is the alert message on the floors that are not being evacuated when number 1 is triggered. So number 1 and number 2 have to do with one another. One's an evac, one's the alert. You guys already did that in this last lab, so it looks like it's just having you guys repeat that, kind of, sort of, but they want you to put the messages together. So number 3 says to play the following messages. Play the following message. It's an evac on all 5 floors. If the heat detector trips inside the elevator shaft, the elevator shaft heat detector needs to activate loop 2 module 13. So that's going to do the elevator capture. Make sure that, all right, that's cool. So it's not pointing to the particular panel, but self-explanatory. Most of these devices, as you can see, they're on the 3030, right? All right, so I'm hitting the send button. That is heading your way now. As soon as you get it, just download that lab to your folder, open it up, and you may begin. Same thing. When you're done with it, raise your hands in Teams, and we'll go over it together. If you guys need to take a little break, go ahead and do so. Take a little 15-minute break, go restroom, get some coffee, afternoon coffee, or whatever it is that you drink in the afternoon to get over the hump, right? And then come back and then hammer away at that lab, however you guys want to play it. As long as you're done, raise your hands in team so we can cover it. Again, you don't have to email me back anything on this one. All right, on this lab, you don't email me back any of the databases. If you need help, let me know. I got my headset on.
I assume we're using the DVC Lab 2. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. We made a couple copies of that template. So make sure you guys use a fresh one. You're not building on top of the other one. That'll prevent you guys from screwing up with old program and the new program. You know what I mean? So yes, definitely open up that lab 2. The lab 1 was the CBE. Lab 2 is lab 1 for your DVC. And there should be one more in there. If you don't see another one in there, go to Save Project As and make another copy. That way you don't have to worry about it for the next lab as well. And if you need any help, let me know. Yes, sir. What do you got?
For the segment for the lab, I have to create it like because I'm looking through all of the waves I have, none of them is matching.
Correct. Like I said, these are not going to be pre-recorded messages. You're going to have to slap those sentences together, like I showed you. Remember,
Okay.
you have to if you use that piece of paper,
Yeah.
you scroll down, you can see where all the sentences are and the numbers of the segments. That'll
Okay.
make it easier for you to put it together. That's why I gave you that document. It's the README only file for the DVC, the README file.
Okay. That was that.
That'll make things a lot easier for you guys. Sorry, I should have pointed that out, but that's
Yeah.
the document you definitely want to use for this because that'll show you which WAV files you're going to need to put this together.
Yeah. I'm sorry. The CLSS called me and then I wasn't paying attention.
Oh no, not a problem, not a problem.
By the way, they said everything is good in their end, and they told me to send email to my Honeywell University.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
May I have your attention, please? Attention, may I have your attention, please? An alarm has been activated. May I have your attention, please? May I have your attention, please? An alarm has been activated. May I have your attention, please? May I have your attention, please? An alarm. May I have your attention, please? May I have your attention, please? An alarm has been activated. Please proceed to the nearest exit and leave the building. Do not use the elevators. Please proceed to the nearest exit and leave the building. Do not use the elevators. May I have your attention, please? May I have your attention, please? An alarm has been activated. Please proceed to the nearest exit and leave the building. Do not use the elevators. Please proceed to the nearest exit and leave the building. Do not use the elevators. May I have your attention, please?
Hey, JC.
Yes, sir.
Just a quick question. What does CCBE stand for? Because CBE is controlled by event, and what's the extra C in the other one?
Cooperative control by event.
Cooperative, right? Right. Okay.
Yeah, that's the one that's done across the network.
Yeah. No, I understand that. I was just trying to
Mhm.
remember what that was called. Cooperative.
Sure.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
Please remain calm and stand by near the speakers for further instructions. Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. May I have your attention please? A fire has been reported in the building. We are investigating the cause. Please remain calm and stand by near the speakers for further instructions. Ladies and gentlemen, your attention. May I have your attention please? May I have your attention please? There has been a fire alarm reported in the building. There has been a fire alarm reported in the building. Please proceed to the stairways and exit the building. Do not use the elevators, but proceed to the stairways and exit the building. May I have your attention, please? May I have your attention, please? There has been a fire alarm reported in the building. There has been a fire alarm reported in the building. Please proceed to the stairways and exit the building. Do not use the elevators, but proceed to the stairways and exit the building. Attention. May I have your attention, please? Attention. May I have your attention, please? There has been a fire emergency reported in the building. There has been a fire emergency reported in the building. Please proceed to the stairways and exit the building. Do not use the elevators, but proceed to the stairways and exit the building. Attention. May I have your attention, please? Attention. May I have your attention, please? There has been a fire emergency reported in the building.
to verify before I send it because that thing's long. It's my Honeywell Buildings University at honeywell.com.